Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. So today my video is going to consist of 5 FPL defenders which I think are overlooked currently in the game and I think you could take real advantage of as a squad player and even benefit as a starting 11 player. So without further ado, let's get into it. So my first FPL player that I've gone with is Tino Livramento for Newcastle. Currently playing left back. He's played for 90 minutes back to back, 4 games in a row. So his minutes look promising. And I've been watching Newcastle recently, so I've seen a couple of games of him playing this season. He's very good defensively. He's definitely got a good slide tackle in him. He's very good at man-to-man marking. He doesn't give the winger a lot of space and wriggle room to, maneuver or cut in. He's very solid defensively and he's also quite technical on the ball, so he doesn't lose it a lot and he's, intelligent at making a quick pass, playing it through the channel or playing it into the midfield. And when Newcastle do attack, because Newcastle are, under Eddie Howe, an attacking team, he can always bomb on the left flank and, pop up with some contributions. And when it comes to Newcastle's defence itself, he can definitely pick up some, um, clean sheet points for the next couple of games, for the next 5 game weeks. So I'm specifically looking at the next 5 game weeks for each of these 5 players I've got. So he can definitely pick up some clean sheets for these games. And I think, at £4.5 million, it's definitely a bargain in my opinion. And, he's not owned by that many people, only owned by 2%, which is not a lot at all. So that's a great differential if you're looking into Newcastle defenders for the next 5 game weeks or so. Okay, so moving on to my next FPL defender, Ezri Konsa. I think he's definitely overlooked in the game. He's only worth 4.4 million and he's only owned by 10% of FPL managers. So it's a great differential in my opinion. And watching Villa, he looks very composed on the ball. He's good defensively, good on one-on-one situations, and at the ball and having the ball at his feet, he's very calm. Like I said, he's composed. And Villa also attack, with the midfield and out wide as well. So because he's a fullback like Livramento, they can always bomb on when attacking and they can get into good attacking positions with overlaps, underlaps, to cross and make even, goal contributions for the team. And when it comes to clean sheets, Villa aren't a bad team defensively and I can definitely see him getting clean sheets for the next 5 or so games. So if we're assessing his games, he's got Palace, Chelsea, Brentford, Southampton and Forest. So I think 3 of those games are definitely clean sheetable, all those games at home. And I think he's definitely a good option for the next 5 weeks. So moving on to my third FPL defender, which in my opinion is overlooked and underestimated and can definitely be good value for you in the next 5 games or so, is Ryan Aït-Nouri, the left back from Wolves. So he only costs £4.7 million and he's owned at only 13.1% in FPL. So I think that's definitely a bargain to start off with statistically. And looking at his fixtures, I think he can definitely pipe up with some goals. There could possibly be a few clean sheets in there looking at his next 5 fixtures. And Wolves are on the turnaround, since their 2-0 win against Southampton. I think they're going in the right trajectory. And I honestly believe that watching Aït-Nouri, he's a very talented player. I remember watching him against the City game. He was unbelievable, I thought, in great attacking positions, really exposing the space and attacking the space that was on the left flank, linking up with João Gomez in the middle and Cunha when he drops in, and even Strand Larsen when he drops in. He's always, bombing on as like a wing back and turning into a winger for them. So he's very good at linking play with, their midfielders and their strikers, and he's very skillful on the ball. He's got a lot of great technical ability, and I think that can serve you well if you're confident he could come up with a goal or assist in the next 5 games. And another prospect who I think is overlooked and is very underestimated when it comes to the next 5 game weeks. If you want to get ahead of the pack in a potential brilliant differential, is Leif Davis from Ipswich. I think Ipswich have really solidified themselves in the Premier League this season. And I don't think that many people at the start of the season would have expected to see Ipswich at the current state that they're in at the moment. And I think they're a really good team unit. They're not afraid to play their way under McKenna. And I think Leif Davis has got a lot of quality about him. I've seen him play. He's very composed on the ball. He's got great attacking quality. He scored that brilliant volley a couple of weeks ago, in the right position, running down the flank, waiting for the ball from the other side of the field as it crossed into him, and he had a nice composed volley to tuck it neatly in the goal. So he's got that intellect about him in terms of running through the channels and attacking and exploiting the space that's needed in order to come up with contributions and help the team. Not only that, he's got a great cross on him for Liam Delap and Sammy Schmodics to pounce on his chances that he creates. He's very creative. He does create chances, and defensively he's not bad either, and his minutes are solid. So I think at only 4.5 million and only 2.3% FPL ownership, I think this is a massive consideration to get Leif Davis, even as a squad player. It doesn't have to necessarily be a starting 11, but as a squad player, I think he is really good to have on your team, and even consider it long term as well. Like, I know that everyone's so invested in splashing the cash on attackers and midfielders, but if you need to find those cheap starters who are still can have a lot of value, I'd say Leif Davis is definitely someone to look for in the future. And finally, my 5th FPL defender, who I think is overlooked and you should definitely consider buying, is Lewis Hall from Newcastle United, a former loanee of Newcastle who used to play for Chelsea and played in the Chelsea Academy and broke through in the Chelsea first team a couple of seasons ago. Has now signed permanently for Newcastle at the beginning of this season, and has really taken his stride under Eddie Howe. And I feel he's a very young player. He's got a lot of potential. He's already playing consistent minutes, so the reliability is there if you're considering FPL options. Not only that, he's worth 4.4 million and he's only 4% owned in FPL. And if you, as a right back starting for a team like Newcastle, who made Champions League only a year as last season, and looking at his next 5 fixtures, there are 3 of those which I think he can definitely do something with. Definitely could keep a clean sheet. And not only that, he's a fullback, so he can, like with all these, you can see the common theme in my videos that they're all fullbacks and they can always attack the space ahead of them. They can always put in a cross, they can cut in and shoot from distance. Or if a midfielder plays them a pass as they're running through, they can take a touch and shoot it across goal. There's different, loads of different opportunities for fullbacks to get involved in the play as well as keeping clean sheets. And I think Lewis Hall is young, he's brave, he's shown little bits about him. And I think it's something that shouldn't be overlooked. We've got the Van Dijks, the Konates, but they're very expensive, and you have to think realistically. If you want a well-rounded team, then these 5 players that I've just given you are bargains, and you can have the Haalands and the Jacksons and the Salahs, and you can also have these players who are very cheap and can put the finishing touches on your team. So, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like, subscribe, comment down below how you feel my suggestions have been for the next 5 game weeks, and I'm going to put my FPL code on the screen now. Make sure to join FPL Ethan YT League, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next video.